C'est pas HD.
Le nez propre.
Hello, hello. Just going to give a few seconds for everybody to join in. Nick, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
I do.
Excellent. Have your tea, Dominic, your water.
I have my tea. I'm all set.
You didn't eat too much for lunch? Good?
No, just pastas.
Pasta?
So,
Yeah.
pastas, yeah.
Lunch of champions, is that it?
That's it. That's what they say.
Still have people logging in, so just give us a few seconds. You finally bought that Westphalia in the back?
Looking forward to it. No.
Book it.
No. I'm waiting for people to get rid of their camper truck once they can start traveling again.
Yeah.
There's so many being sold that these days that there's going to be a flooding of the market, I guess. So I'll just buy one cheaper.
Yeah, I've heard that just used car in Quebec, used cars, the price of used cars have increased because there's a shortage of new cars. So I'm guessing Westphalia will be in that mix too. Okay, it's 12:01, so let's not wait for the guy on top right. We'll launch this season 2, episode 1 of the Client PSA showcase. Very excited to be here, and by popular demand, we have invited back Dominic. So thank you, Dominic, for being here.
It's a great pleasure.
We had a lot of fun with the season 1, which was the success series, more about training and coaching you guys, our customer, on the platform. We still have a lot of good comments coming from it because there's the recording are there and those are being used for educating on clients. So this second season though will be more about the product itself, more on the showcase side. And today we're going to talk a bit more broader with the ecosystem and the experience of client. Good. So let's look at the agenda. I'm going to try to explain what I have in mind in regards of the vision for the ecosystem that we're part of. I'm going to also describe how it's linked with the experience. And after that, we're going to show you new stuff. So we're going to be looking at the new community and exciting new feature that we've delivered already, and one new feature that we'll be delivering for a customer in the next few days. And you guys will also benefit from it. Okay, so what I have in mind when I'm talking about, let me get out of this. I should have done that before. Gaming platform, so cool. So what I have in mind when I'm thinking about what client can do is client can really bring all the processes, all your processes, all your people, all your team, and bridge that all into one product so you can get that unity and collaboration within your team. And I think we do have the opportunity to build that exciting and thriving and vibrant professional service ecosystem. We are in a good position, and the way I want to explain it is maybe by starting by describing what are the building blocks, the way I see it at Client for an ecosystem. First, it starts with our customer. So as you guys know, I've been the owner since September of Client. I've been implementing it with the Drake, I think, for more than 3 years now. But you guys are great. We have awesome customers. You are eager to learn and you are eager to collaborate. So this for me, it's a good first step to build an ecosystem. After that, we all part of the same industry. We all doing professional services. This is the focus. So by having a focus, we are doing the same thing. So we are evolving, and by doing the same thing over and over again, we're getting better. I like it with Drakia. It's pretty much like the movie Inception, you know, the dream within the dream. Quite often you talk to a customer, you explain them how we run our business at Drakia. He said, oh yeah, we could do that too. And we all pick and choose, right, Dominic?
Yes, it's like the serendipity often. You're talking about a subject internally, and somehow a customer comes in and it contributes also to kind of, increase on the discussion there. So it's very interesting dynamic.
So building block, having an industry in common, focus, then having people, so people, the customers, and then we definitely need to be having a product, which is what client is. So having a way that we can run our operation in a streamlined manner. I like the fact that I'm always saying it with the customer, we should have fun when we seeing each other. Yesterday, I was talking to James and Paul at Red Pat, and we were laughing. And for me, we should be able to tell jokes, and we should have that good relationship with our customer. And it should be fun also to run our business. I used to say a lot that even our people are having fun doing their timesheet. I would have said, I should say now that it's not that true because we still need to ping people around to get their timesheet done. This being said, it's still fun run our business and we want to continue doing this. So I might be crazy. This is my utopia of building an ecosystem. But I do understand that if we want to create that or create or build that ecosystem, we need to provide you, I need to provide you a great experience. And again, what are the pillar of this experience? This is the way I've structured it. It was a bit different frame when I first introduced it in the first few meetings last year. But the pillars are about the product, the way we're going to support you after that you've been implemented, and the community. So how we can get that thriving ecosystem and vibrant community together. So the product, it's all about making streamlined operation, try to reduce the number of systems running on one platform client, and then be able to create that collaboration that I'm talking about within your department and your team, and easy to use, easy to learn, and easy to maintain, but that you can grow with as well. I think on the support side, we've received a lot of great comments. Amber, Alex, Vickers, everybody involved. I think you're doing a tremendous job, so thank you very much. If you have some other comments to give us, let us know. But we're trying to do the extra mile and do even more than just supporting our product. So I think we're doing great on that. We can always improve, but we're doing great. And the community, this is what we're relaunching today. So it's a space. We need to find a way to meet. You're all over the globe, right? We have people in Europe, in UK, and in the US, in Australia. So I don't think that we can create tons of meetups. So we need to find an electronic one. So it would be that community. But the goal is to be able to discuss, share, and learn. So we can and build that roadmap together. So let's celebrate. So you like our slides, Dominic?
Yeah, I'm always it's always make me smile. I like them.
I'm having a blast just to build those decks for those events. The idea is now we can start showing you stuff, not just talking about the concept and my dreams and vision, but we let's celebrate the fact that we have delivered our first client trails. We've delivered 3 of them. So we've been talking about it for a while. That's one of my first commitment that we're going to do a better documentation. So the first pass of it, we did other thing. We did release note and help article, but the first big endeavor was to build those trails. So if you are aware of the Salesforce ecosystem, Salesforce have Trailhead, which is an awesome way to learn. This is exact same modules, but we've created trails for client. So we're going to be looking at it, and those are accessible as of yesterday to you guys. And I've mentioned that a lot in the past, and it's been true, but it's not been very transparent to you or very visible. But we want you to collaborate on the roadmap. So I'm going to show you stuff, but now within the new community, it's going to be easier than ever to collaborate. So you're going to be able to share your ideas and vote on the ideas of others, so we can integrate that within the next release. Yes, we're looking for your ideas. We have a ton of ideas on our side, so we want to keep pushing the envelope. So we're going to propose you some stuff, but also we're going to be looking at your input on how to improve or how to add stuff. So enough. Let's take a break of the slides for now, and let's move to the community itself. Dominic, or maybe I can do it. I think there's a question.
Yeah, I'm handling that. I was going to mention also that if along the way you have any questions, feel free to go in the Q&A and have them. I'll moderate and make sure that we address those questions along the presentation.
Great. So let me just start the community. I'm gonna copy paste that link and I'm gonna send it in the chat. Is there a chat then?
Yep.
I'm gonna send it to you. If you can just send it to everyone. So okay, I'm logging as Drakia. Okay, I'm as my Drakia is a customer of clients, so I'm logging as Yannick Abraham, but as Drakia. So first, you're gonna land on a new home page. We're trying to make this collaborative, right? So the focus of the home page is gonna be your feed that you're gonna be able to switch between latest posts or recent activity, but also to see all updates, or let's say on all questions that have been answered or comment or created. You can also, if you want to be participate in the community and answer the question of other customer, you can filter by unanswered question. At this point, there's none. Because I've did a good job of, I think, of closing them all before this webinar. But let's do another. Go ahead and please create question. I'm going to show you how. So this is the home page. From here in the menu, you can see that we have help and discussion. This is where you're going to start and find our help articles. Okay, so first we have release notes. So if you click on it, this is where you're going to find the latest release with the description of what's been added within that release, plus the installation URL if you want to upgrade to that latest release. Then you will see we have a list of all the different modules. For now, it's still slim. It's taking a lot of time to create good documentation, and we're still looking for people as well, but we're getting there. So we're going to populate more and more, but you can see the different modules are here. So let's say I open up project management. I'm going to see a couple of features we're going to look at a little bit later today. And as I was saying, the webinar, if you want to go back to the success series and you love Dominic so much that you want to hear his voice again, you can watch the entire series here. So if you had to focus, or if you want to know what we can do on business development side of things, you have those 1 hour video to look into. Okay, in this, the question, it's a bit weird. I'm still playing around with the layout, but you have the articles here, and you could switch here discussion detail, but I don't like that view too much. And here I have a list of all the questions about that specific module. So if you want, let's say, why are some projects showing up on everyone my project view? And so this has been a question from, was it from Marilyn? So, and then Natalie answered it. And then we've marked it as a best answer. So if you want to create a new question, you can just hit the button. It's pretty much everywhere. You're going to need to select modules, and then the community can answer, but also client will answer. Okay, we'll try that again this time around. We had success. I think we were lagging a little bit on our side on the response time. So this time around, we're going to try to do that. Okay, I've clicked on it, but I should have talked about it first. So here, there's a link to the Client Trails, so the new module. So it does open up a new browser. It's outside of our trail, of our community, but you're still single sign-on, so you're already logged in. And when you land here, I would suggest that you jump right to the Trails tab, where you're going to find the 3 trails we have now. The order is wrong, but here it's alphabetical. But the first one would be project management, getting started with projects in client. Then you have execution, so timesheet, expense, etc. And then invoicing with client. Okay. You can see here that the user has 0 badge and 0 point. It's not the same user as a Salesforce. I just want to point it out. Don't be scared that you lost your badges. It's just an additional user. I think at some point we're going to be able to merge it. It's a new product of Salesforce. So let me open up project management just to show you how it looks. So we've created within a trail, there's several modules. Each module has point, and the entire module has a number of hours or minutes. And you can see each units within with the amount of time that is forecasted that you're going to spend on. So you can bookmark them. For now, there's not a ton, but you can definitely add them to your list. And this will be very useful for maybe as a recap, or new people are getting onboarded. It's intended for people that have limited knowledge of client and want to get up to speed on what they can do. We're trying with Trails as well. It's more business specific. So we're trying to expose specific use case. If you are like one of our customer APR that's doing more resource placement, then we can explain if you could run your project this way instead of just being factual like an help article. So opening up a module, you have a unit, I'm sorry. So you have the text that you have to read, right? You have to learn. So there's an effort to be put in there, right?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that comes along with it.
So you still have to read. We've tried to make it interesting. The tone is great. Ember has been working on it a lot. It's awesome. And then at the end, we have a small quiz. And they're not that easy. I've missed a couple, so I'm ashamed of it. But I've missed. Okay, so I hope you are going to enjoy it and have fun. You should all have access to it. If it's not the case, let us know. If you need to add people of your within your organization into the community, for now, you still need to write to support@klient.com, and the team will add your people there. Like that, Dominic?
It is perfect. Yeah, it's getting somewhere. It's very interesting. It's even for us, as far as implementation on new customers, something that at one point we can also leverage upfront. But as you said, onboardees, new employees, just take 2 hours of your time, go there, and then it's going to be a good introduction to the tool. That's perfect.
Great, and it took us a long time. We've explored a different approach. I think we have a good formula. There's always room for improvement, so please let us know how we can improve. And we're gonna add more trails. So we have one more in the works now. After that, we're hiring 1 or 2 resources to write more content. So it's gonna go faster at some point.
Hiring is tough for everyone, so that's lots of energy to try and get people.
And there's a lot we can do with the platform, right? So it's not that easy to write things down and keep it updated. We want to have a fast evolving product. So that's the tricky part with documentation. Okay, let's move on. We have a lot to cover. So the next things are quite interesting. So this is your opportunity. You know the background, the history. I own Drakia. We started that practice. Dominic was one of the first employee, and we grew that practice quite a lot with Client. We love the product so much. We purchased Client. I've purchased Client. It's 2 separate entities, Drakia and Client. I've purchased Client. And for me, the goal was to really, as a service company, Drakia, to be able to have more control. And I was influencing the roadmap, but I wanted to control a bit more the roadmap. But now I'm opening up this control to you guys, our customer. And this is where those 2 new tabs here comes into play. The first one will be ideas. Again, this is a first pass of the layout. We're going to do better. I know, Dominic.
Yeah, it's the first pass at your picture too. Yeah, it's your picture from your passport. You look as.
I'm gonna let me post a new idea. My new picture is going to be there. But the concept here, there's only 2 ideas for now. This is open to all of you. Please create idea. This idea has been voted up to 60 points already. We have 1 comment. So if you click on it, then you have Greg that's commented, yes, please. So that would be a goal. This one, Natalie asked for it. This was for Axiom, and actually we're going to deliver it. So it's going to be delivered soon. So please log your idea this way. And this way, the rest of the community will be able to vote. And then the one with most vote, we're going to implement.
And it makes it that if we comment on those ideas, they'll get better as as we refine them too. So that's very interesting dynamic too.
Exactly. Okay, so let me post an idea. I'm going to show you. So it's pretty simple. So the idea of one of the idea I have now is it's a multi. No, it's a project Gantt. WBS multi-line edit. Okay, so on the Gantt, if I could select a lot of diff, I'm going to show you. I have a screenshot. Okay, so I'm going to select the category. So for that, it's in the project management. If you don't select the good one, it's fine. We're going to classify for you, and then you can write text. Okay, so let's assume I'm going to write text, but I'm going to do better. I'm going to put a picture. So download. Should be this one. And then, so you could do that, just a simple screenshot, just so you can annotate, and then project Gantt, WS multiline edit. So being able to have a checkbox here on the left. So let's say I want to change the dates for all those tasks at the same time. I can do it this way. So the same kind of approach that Salesforce is providing. Is there any interest for you, Dominic, for this kind of thing?
Yes, that's a very good idea. Yeah.
So go ahead and vote. So every one of you, please create ideas and vote. That's one way that you can propose stuff. And then we're gonna improve the visibility of it. I didn't know that I couldn't collapse it either. So we're gonna improve that, but at least you have a way to express yourself. Okay. Now, what those ideas are gonna come into, they're gonna end up in our roadmap. So now we've decided to expose our product roadmap through this community. So now you guys can see what we've been doing and what we're up to. We're pretty transparent. I don't think we left anything. There's a lot of other things that we did, like small one-off, that I didn't want to put too many tasks in there. We've delivered a lot of things, not just the 4 or 5 features we're going to show today, but I wanted to showcase a couple. Okay, so we're going to look at those two: survey, new question type, and scheduler. The question type, it was for me that I really needed more question type. But the scheduler, a few of our customers, so Susan and Kelly, were big proponent, or they really wanted that feature, promoter of that feature. So I think we've delivered that. It's working great. Mobile timesheet with APR, they had some requests, and I think we're going to look into it a bit later. Then Invoice Pdf, again, for Susan. This one, I think this one actually was an Access partnership. And so we did a lot for our customer, and we're going to still be doing a lot. I think we have a couple of people from Cider. I know you're waiting anxiously for that QuickBook payment sync. So as you can see, for now, it's the target end date is 15th of June. We're 90% completed. We're pretty much just QA left. Okay, so you can see, and this is a sneak peek, but you can see the all task, or let's say I just want to see the completed task to see what has been delivered. I can just refresh that filter. I'm going to see the completed one. Or if I just want to see what's coming, I can play around with the filter. So this is also available through the community. And we did a clever thing in terms of, for you guys, if you want, at the bottom, there's a chatter. So if you want to collaborate directly or talk directly on that project, you can. But if you want to go in and let's say you want to see, which one did I do? It's the mass approval. Let's say I didn't do them all. I still need to work on this, but I'm going to put description. The team is going to put description on this. So this one is a mass approval timesheet. Select all and select all resource. Seriously, I find it painful to check box all the time. So if we could just have like the select all here on top, and we could also have per resource, it's going to be easier just to go and do submit. So this is the explanation. Again, if you want to chat here, you can. And if you want to follow this to see when it's going to be released or if they're changing the dates, you can follow it and you're going to have a notification in your own feed. This is where the own feed is coming into it.
So is there a follow-up so that whenever a feature is, that everyone that might have asked for that idea or have contributed, is there a kind of a follow-up?
Still need to put that in place, but now it's already, if it's the idea coming from support. Support is we're already tracking that, so that's fine. We're gonna also track via ideas, and if you follow, you're gonna also be notified. So yes, I think everybody should be aware, and we're gonna do more of those showcase as well to introduce new features. So that's it.
Yeah, but as you follow, you keep updated every time there's a new post on that idea or that item.
But for the delivery, yes, it would be. But
excellent.
that's where maybe the other one come into play. We have an announcement group. This is a read-only, but so for us, like this one was the webinar. After that, I'm gonna post the webinar link, the recording. But maybe if we have features or a set of features, I know I'm sending a lot of emails already. We are, but bear with us. We're just finding the right balance on how to invite you. But this is gonna also be another way of communicating with you guys. Well, what do you think? Like it?
I personally do. I'm the only one with the mic on, so I'll respond to the other ones. But yeah, it's perfect. It's good visibility for the.
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of interest for this one here. Resource planner enhancement. I don't think, did I put a little bit of stuff already? No, I didn't put any description, but this is gonna come. The idea was one, but there's a ton of things we know we need to do on the planner.
Yeah, been pushing for
Gantt as
this.
well. We're gonna do.
I must admit, I've been pushing for that a bit internally for.
Yes, I know.
So.
Okay.
But I'm just the voice.
Yeah,
of,
you're don't shoot the messenger.
That's it. I'm the voice of the customer.
Okay, and moving forward, you're gonna have also access support that didn't change. So you have your account information. So moving forward, you're at some point you're gonna be able to invite your own contact into this. So you're gonna be able to share with the rest of your team, or invite people of your team. Okay, that's it. Let's move on. So this is the community. Let's move to the most recent features. Unless there's question. I don't think there is.
No, not yet. Keep an eye on it.
Okay, we've seen those names in the roadmap. They've been delivered. If you click on the link on the delivered feature, I'm trying to put the link to the help article. So you have that. I'm going to remove the description because it might be implemented a bit different than, or I might leave it, but the link to the help document is going to be on top. So what we're going to be, what we've introduced for the past maybe 6 months, 3-4 months, and that I think are very valuable, and that we need more people to use it because those are maybe hidden gem. Some other feature like the filters and presets, those are pretty new. You need to be on the newest version to have it, but those are the 4 things we're going to look at to start with. Okay, so the survey enhancement. We created new, why survey first? Okay, survey for us, it's really important because you can validate your assumption. You can know what your customer, if it's done right, you can understand and know what your customer is thinking. And it's a easy way to probe your customer, your prospect, even your new recruits, your employees. So, and doing this in a rigorous and continuous manner, I think we can get some good result. We do have customers that using this extensively. That's why we built the scheduler. At Drakia, we're going to look at the specific. We're sending a weekly, during implementation, we're sending a weekly customer survey, satisfaction survey. We're going to talk about it in a second. But the idea is that at some point when you finish a milestone, maybe it's the good time to validate, would that customer recommend us or not? How can we improve? So there's a lot of plus value. So let's look at it right away. I'm in Drakia environment, so this is our live environment. We can look at the surveys that we have, and maybe Dominic, you can put some color. I'm just going to read them, but then we can look deeper. But we have an end of project survey, so really interesting, really to the lessons learned or the skills acquired, but it's for employee, right, Dominic? So this will be a new one we'll put together.
So that basically it can contribute to your project closure and kind of internal project closure, and try to get your broader team impressions just to prepare for that project closure maybe. So yeah, interesting one also.
So this one is for employee. This one is also an employee satisfaction survey that we send every Friday. It's 2 questions. We're going to look at it in detail. And this is the ongoing customer satisfaction survey. So this one, it's interesting. Maybe it's good that we talk about it in for a second. This one, there's again 3 questions. So there's a CSAT with a rich text field. There's an NPS. Would you recommend us? Always the same question. And then a free form text if you want to put something. But this one, what we did is that we automated that. The client didn't offer that feature, so we decided to automate this, and we have a rolling question. So we have a bank of questions. We created a flow, I think, and Natalie created a flow. And then every week we're changing just the title of the questionnaire. So this way we don't bore a customer with the same question. And sometimes we have some humor on it, or we make it fun, or sometimes it's more specific, but it's a rolling question. So I think there's value into customizing it a little bit as well in that regard. The one I think interesting that I didn't really do yet, but I wanted to, I'm big on values, enterprise values. So I was thinking of building like a list of 25 values and sending it to a new recruit that's applying to the job at Drakia or client, and to make them select values. So you can think of sending surveys for any kind of situation. Okay, so if I open the employee satisfaction survey, the survey itself, you can see now our people are pretty happy. So you can also put nice graph to see the result when you have one question. When it's a different question, text question, you won't be able to have graph. But this being said, that survey, if you guys are not using it, you should use it more. And what we really improve, it's if we configure it, I'm going to show you the different type of question that we have. That's been added. Okay, so let me just open up one survey that have them all. So you can, so this one, or maybe I could just create a new question right from here. So let me add a question. So you can either do a CSAT, okay, and then you can also select the number. Is it a 3-star, 4-star, 5-star? This is a new configurable option. You can select if it's an NPS. NPS, it's always on 10. A free form text. So those one were there. The one we added is that now you can have a radio button, meaning that you can have, it's kind of a pick list. We labeled it as a pick list, so you can select one, or you can select multiple. So for my value test, it would be that one, a multiple choice pick list. Okay, so those are new ones. So it's giving you a little bit more control on the result, not just a rating of 5, but you can have value specific value. And when you open the survey, and let's see, after you created that wizard, that's one way of using it. But when you created that wizard, if you open up that survey question, there's also some categories now. Like this one, we didn't put any, but there's categories that you can put. So if you want to group those, the NPS there, it doesn't make sense. But for a CSAT, for example, you can group them by quality. So all the CSAT question you're going to ask, they're going to be under quality. And then meaning you can have meaningful report based on categories instead of single questions. Okay, so the new question is what I want to show to learn how to really use the survey. If you go back in the community, in the service portion, you're gonna have those help articles for you to configure.
It's interesting with the new types. That just brought me the idea of, when we're preparing to launch a project with a customer, maybe we can prep that kickoff and asking the whole team there and say, oh, what are your priorities, and maybe setting a few so that you can get a feeling also individually of all the people that are going to join to your kickoff. What do you think? What should we? And then we see it. Is there an alignment, or do we need to address that also internally with the the customer team? So just an
Yeah, we
interesting
had the kickoff. I guess we need to improve the question, but that exactly, like after, definitely. I totally agree with what you're saying. More the merrier. Now it's the engagement. How do we get people to answer? Our response rate at Drakia is not that high. I'll be frank. We still have people, and for those of you guys who are here, thank you very much for answering. This is seriously a way for you to express yourself. But yeah, we're gonna keep doing it. But
yeah, because ultimately internally, and that's what we do, is every weekly meeting we look at the surveys. So if there's something that is not going right, or the other side, or praising too, so that we can get that feedback to the team and realign quickly. So that it's it's a way for your customer to.
We're looking at it every week. So for the 3, 4, 5 of you guys that are doing it, we're looking at your response, and your feedback are important. Okay, let's go quickly into the scheduler. Okay, the scheduler is great. So there's a button on the account, and there's a button on a project to send individual survey. Okay, so this, you can send those survey out from the account and the project. If you configure, you can look at the help text on how to configure. But if you want to make it, like we said, every week you send a question, or let's say for a certain criteria, you can create a schedule. Okay, so as you can see, we have 2 here, the weekly customer satisfaction and the employee satisfaction. But let's create a new survey, and let's say this one would be. Can I just open one? I don't want to go through the.
Just a time check. I think there's 25 minutes left.
No. Create one. Okay, so you select the survey, you select which email address is going to send it out. For us, it's going to be the success. Might be, for example, N of project. Again, N of project. I won't be original here. And then you're going to go in and you can define, oops, inactive, so I don't send it. you're going to define from which range of date this this schedule is going to work. So you can make it for only a specific date. You can make it for a longer, a year, or and you can put it in the future without any problem. And is it you just want to send it once the criteria happen, or you want to send it every week, daily, weekly, or monthly? So you define the frequency you want to send it, and then you can define to which project or account you want to send it to. So do you want to send it to all your account? I would definitely advise against that, to all your projects. So most probably you want to set some condition. So we are trying to build right like the Salesforce is doing their stuff. So the same way you can build with the operators, you can define. Let's say I want to have everybody that's over budget. I want to send them, or when the project is completed, or when we reach a certain percentage completed. Let's say I want it greater than 75. Then we're gonna send that survey, and then you can do custom logic on top.
And you can have more than one. So you could have say, okay,
Yeah, exactly.
I select the projects that have capability of receiving. As you know, so you can have multiple.
Yeah, an active project, not archived. So you define to depending if you're a project on account. Let me do this one. And then you can define who do you want to send it to. So we show the this is for projects. So we show the project contact fields that you have on a project. Okay, or you can send it to other email address.
So for contact fields, it's any fields that look up to a contact, basically. So
yeah,
it could
exactly.
be custom. It could be custom fields.
You're going to be able to do it too, right? Yep. And then I guess it's and then the on the what did I want to show? On the account, you can define the account role. I won't go into that, but you can define the role, the different roles you have. So if you want to only send to billing roles, or so yeah, we're not having enough time, so I can go deeper in this one. Yeah, so maybe start. My suggestion would be start to create your first survey. Ask your engagement lead, a couple of them, your champion to send survey manually with the button. Tweak the process, tweak the question, making sure that you're checking them on a weekly basis. And then after that, making a schedule makes sense. But as everything, automation should come second. You should definitely set up.
Yeah, using it internally is a good way to test also the automation, so that you get an internal survey every week. You get used to the.
Okay, mobile timesheet. Am I still connected? So mobile timesheet, we were definitely lagging in terms of mobile capacity to log time. This has been introduced in February, I believe. This came from a user request, like I said, APR. Tim, if you're on the line, you've asked me if the feature was implemented, the new one, and the answer is yes. So we're going to showcase to you, but this is really to help you on the run to be able to enter your time. Quite often, for those of you guys who are maybe not now with COVID, but we're working on site at the office of your customer, you want to be able to capture your timesheet on the phone and make it easy, not having to do 22 clicks every time you want to add one entry. So that's the purpose of that mobile timesheet. Okay, so let me see if I'm still sharing. Yes. Okay, so you can see it's pretty cold in Laval. Yesterday we're swimming. Not today.
Yeah, it's cold outside. Yeah.
The application is coming from the Salesforce one. I think they just call Salesforce mobile application. So you can see it here. So this is where you can log into it. Again, there's a help article to show you how to make it available to your team. Within here, you can put an icon at the bottom, or it's going to be called My Mobile Timesheet. Okay. So when it opens, it's giving you the current week. You can see that the total of hours on this current timesheet is 6.5. 4 was billable, 2.5 were not. You can have a breakdown per day. And this is, and let me not jump into that summary here on the bottom, but let me jump on Monday. I can see what I've done on Monday, or the different tasks at work. If I want to create a new task, a new timesheet entry, I just click on the day, or I could have pressed the plus right away. But then it's going to prompt me for a project. Let's say I'm going to use Dream Tech. It's going to prompt me for the different tasks that I have in my project, so you can easily search and filter off. So let me do the delivery and off. It is billable, and I'm going to put my notes, and I'm going to add the number of hours that I've worked on. Okay, so it's pretty easy. You still need to select the project and the task when you're doing it this way. Okay, I think Tim improvement was to be able to, when you already added a task, to be able to easily come back to it. So that's why we've added this task one here more specifically, but here we have a summary. Okay, let me start with the daily view. I can go and can see exactly what I did per day. So I only have one entry per day, but when you have more, you can see a list of all your entry per day. You can do the same thing, but per project. So I can see I've logged 6 hours on this, and then I can see on which task. And then this is the interesting one. So you can see it per task. So I've logged on all those tasks. This one, the delivery and off, is the latest one I've did. And here I can easily go and edit the full week. So I don't need to go in and punch date, task, project for each. I can just go in here. And if I have a weekly note that I want to put, I'm going to be able to put a weekly note. So this should ease up the job of the people that don't have complicated timesheet. So they're going to be able to easily go in and apply those time. Okay. Checkbox here to make it safe. So we're talking about it. I know we've talked about it during the success series, so it might not be new for you guys, but it's working very well. The usage, I think it's low, but I think it's because of awareness, not because of functionality. This being said, if functionality-wise there's something not working for you, or is missing, or there is improvement, I can see some, but just raise ideas and let's talk about it, or go in the chatter group of that specific task that we've delivered in the roadmap, and then we can chat there too. Okay. Question, Dominic, on this?
Yeah, no, not on that. I'm responding to a previous question to something else, but no.
Okay. And the goal of all this, right, is to make sure that your people are doing the timesheet, on giving them all the tools so they can do their timesheet easily. Ideally, you want them on the spot. So every time they finish a task, you want them to update their timesheet. If not that, daily. If not that, weekly, monthly, to prescribe for sure, to not do for sure. Okay, let's look at the Gantt filter and presets. This is a good performance enhancement based on for the project Gantt and the WBS experience. So here, it's going to be mainly addressed of people using that interface. It's when you're working with tasks, it's a great interface to work with. So project manager, project coordinator are going to be the main user. We're going to see the goal is to be able to use it in different stage of a project and being able to work more efficiently with that UI.
That's an item that I really like, and being in different stages of the life cycle of the project. That's very interesting.
Okay, so let me jump in that environment. So I'm on a client project. You will most probably you have that button here, Project Gantt. So if I open up that Project Gantt, if you've configured it, you need to configure it. It's in one of the release notes. You're gonna see those two new buttons here. Okay. The first one we've played with a little bit before. So we've played with all tasks, completed tasks. So we add those functionality in the past. But let's say I wanted to see all the milestone tasks. I can easily go and filter those milestones. And let's say I just want to see the active milestone though. So the open milestone. So there was no way for easily adding new filters. So what we did is that we gave you the opportunity to create your own filter. And again, we're basing ourselves on the way that Salesforce is operating. So the knowledge and the user adoption curve is easier. So you can select any field from the task. And let's say in my case, it was milestone. Is it a milestone? Is it true or false? And then you can define the logic. And again, you can add more than one filter. And you can also add filter logic. So seriously, you can filter whatever you want. You have the full potential here. And by doing this, it's not a one-time thing, so you can save them. So for example, now I was all the milestone task. I can see only the open milestone. So I only have 2 open milestone. So I have those filter that we can, and then if I want to go ahead and edit it, you can just go and you can see the rules here. Milestone equal true, that's equal to 100%. Cool, right?
Yes.
Be careful though, when you're adding tasks, if you have dependency, you don't see them anymore. So you still have to be careful when you add in tasks, but this is it's normal behavior. So you can create as many as you want. We provided those by default, but you can add as many as you want to filter, custom filter. So that's the first one. The second one, I think this is the one that you're a bit more excited about, Dominic.
That I like, yeah, even more. Yeah,
At
I
least
use
it's
it
fine.
more. Yeah, because I'm more in upfront. I'm not necessarily delivering as much. So the alt task, I get the task filter is probably more when you're delivering a project. You want to show different things to your customer. It could be an example of customer facing, maybe a project plan, and you could revise the status of a project with a customer using a different filter and just showing that on your screen. So yeah, I think in operation there's a lot of value in filtering those tasks, but the other what you're going to show is
Yeah,
very interesting.
the other again, it's for me. I'm all about trying to streamline, and when there is a click that can be removed, I'm trying to remove it. So this is the one. If you guys know, and if you've been working with that interface, you know that every time you're coming back to it, the only thing that's being saved are the columns, but you always need to come back and whoops, the opposite. You need to resize and move this around, and so we've created presets. Those are awesome. And the way that we use it, and that I'm guessing that you guys might use it, is that other button here. When you start, you have 0, so you need to save your first preset. But like Dominic said, for example, when you're estimating, okay, when you're estimating, you want to have, for example, the duration, the estimated hours, and maybe the total hours estimated. Maybe not more than that, because you're mainly playing around with tasks, maybe assigning days. Start date is not useful at this point. Maybe even that, maybe even here I should remove and just keep the grid. And then let's say I'm coming here and I'm saving back my filter. Now it's going to be remember like this without the right side panel. Okay. Let's say now I'm moving and I'm doing more kind of a planning. I wanna start using those start date and due date. So now you can see the different columns are not the same. The position of this is not the same either. So we recall pretty much all the things, the week, the month, the day view, the task filter. If you add some, we recall those too. Everything should be in there in terms of preset. And again, if when you're executing, now maybe what you want to see, it's the estimated hours, percentage complete, hours remaining estimated. So instead of right-clicking, show columns, trying to find it because the list is way too long, then you have those filter that you can build. We didn't package any filter preset by default. Maybe this is something we could do in the future, but yeah, this is the idea. Most probably we should do it because those, I think, planning.
There's a few that make sense, yeah, in operation of pretty much everyone.
So, and Dominic, you were complaining about the fact that when you're doing statement of work, you need to do screenshots, and so now you can have a preset for.
I sound like that when I complain, yeah.
Exactly like.
Oh, okay.
But in French sometimes. You can create that new preset statement of work.
That's what I just did. I have one for estimation, one for PP&B, so that all those stages are, I'm saving a lot of clicks there. Obviously, yes.
Okay, let's move on. So those are all delivered. They're available in the latest release if you go in the release notes in the community. Okay, so now we have a sneak peek. I'm excited about this one because we're going with the episode team. So we're unveiling for the first time. This has been written by one of our customer, Axiom. They've been pretty much driving this in terms of the UI and the way that they wanted to have that functionality. So we have Rich and Dave that's been heavily involved. So, and then we have a client who's going to develop that for them, and we have Drakia who's been coordinating that stunt and since the beginning. but that's the impact that Drakia can have. They can influence, and in the end, the customer can influence the roadmap. So this one is it's exciting. Again,
This
it's
is,
on the project. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was just going to see that this is the one, Zach and Katie, I wanted you to see for later discussion. So that's just that's the sneak peek I wanted you to assist to.
Good. So we call it the assignment UI. Okay. So it's bridging the gap between task management and resource assignment on task. So it's really bringing together your task assignment, your project resource, and the hours that you want people to work on. Okay. So the interface is going to be used mainly by the delivery manager, project coordinator, Axiom, the main use for them, it was called an estimation UI at the beginning because they want to use that while they're doing proposal. So in the proposal object, you can have the Gantt and you can have that view. So this is where mainly Axiom is going to use it. But it's a UI that is usable at any time, not just during the proposal stage, but during execution and planning as well. The target release date is June 30th. So let me go in my demo environment and I can show you where we're at. So not sure if Rich or Dave are present, but they haven't seen that new release. So it's also a sneak peek for them. So let me open up that project Gantt. So now, before we had three buttons. Now we've, with that release that's going to come in the future, we've combined them in views. And the new view here, we can, again, we switch task filter and everything, but you can now switch to the assignment view. So what it's going to do is the right side panel is going to be now changed. Let me zoom in a little bit to bring the project assignment. So the top part here is project assignment, and the bottom part are task assignment. Okay. And let's say before I go into the detail of it, let's say I want to add a consultant, I want to add a project assignment. I'm going to be able to right click and do add project assignment. And which one do I want? I think it's 80 greater. Let me put Ailey as a developer, and she's expensive. So again, those fields are configurable. Even the top part here is configurable. So you can have 1, 2, even custom field. Like for Axiom, they have a custom role field. They're going to be able to expose it here as well and edit it, because you can come back and you can edit it as well. And then the interesting part is that you can come in and say, okay, let's say I want to load the initial matrix. It's going to be Ailey who's going to add, who's going to do it. So most probably she's going to work 12 hours on it. So I can go in and assign task assignment right from here. And everything should follow with the start date, the schedule, the revenue. Yeah, this is it. So it's going to be, I think, very useful to be able to combine that task and task assignment. What do you think?
I like that. Few customers I've seen that, we have Excel spreadsheets. Eventually, that what we do is exactly that: number of hours with the rate, and we ultimately it's just make it a lot easier instead of going to the task, to the assignments, and change the number of hours. Then we can play around with that. And I see that, as you said, upfront as estimation, but also as when you're kind of splitting those hours through your team. You could have your estimated hours on the left side and then kind of split those hours to each of your resources. So that's going to be very convenient, even in execution. Yeah, I had a question that I'm probably, some customer also, as far as the rate card, will eventually, do we think of having that on the roadmap so that we can integrate with the rate card? So when we load a resource, have the rate, the rate from the rate card kind of
I don't want to say
being
anything
suggested.
stupid, but it should pull the proper rate. It's just because the UI, we've put the rate there, but so it's prompting us. But yeah, it's going to take into account the rate card.
And if it's not there, it's probably a feature that would be interesting eventually
I'm
to
pretty sure it's
consider.
there because
Perfect.
it's creating the same. It might be just a question of refresh, maybe. Let me investigate with the team. Good point. Tim is asking how this assignment interact with the scheduling. So actually, you're creating a task assignment directly here. So if you have like a start date, and depending on the scheduling mode on your task and your project, it's going to follow the exact same rules. So it's going to be, we're not changing anything. The only thing we're doing, we're creating a task, and then the rules are going to be applied the same way.
Just before that, there was another question from James asking if, and probably more of a comment than as if we can have those three shown, the execution included eventually in the next release.
Yep.
Or I would most probably think that the release notes also explain how to build one. So you could write off, as of now already built those three task or views, preset views
Yeah,
using the release notes.
let me talk with the team. Good point. Okay, and yeah, so I'm thinking we're going to do a lot of this assignment UI is great. We're going to make it, and there's also a subtotal things. This is a bit too early to show, but we're going to also be able to get subtotal per phase and then per for each resource. So still need to work on the look and feel of it, but I think this is going to be very useful. I also think that improving that work breakdown structure experience, we're gonna most probably add project billing visibility as well in that UI, so you can see the project billing line dates when they are upcoming. We were also thinking of maybe putting at the bottom of this a resource planner, so you can have the resource planner at the same time that you have your project on top. So when you move a task, you can see the impact on the planner right away instead of having it onto UI. So this might be a big place of new cool feature, that new kind of work breakdown structure WBS experience. Food for thought. Okay.
I had a question here from Simon Jones. I was still kind of answering in text, but might as well. On that view, the question was if it was possible to see the total revenue, and I guess is that on lines we could have that. So yeah, either estimated revenue at completion would probably show the total per task, or eventually expected revenue. If expected revenue would show something if you were using bottom-up planning from the project.
Yeah,
So
maybe the project is not set up
yeah,
correctly.
depending on the setup on the project, but the estimated revenue at completion would also show the total revenue for that line.
Because you can still have all the column on the left on top of it. For now, the left side is read only because it's just a UI thing, but next version is going to be not read only. You're going to be able to add task and task assignment at the same time. Version 1 is going to be read only for a brief moment.
Thanks.
Okay, we only have 3 minutes left. Dominic, is there any other question? It's going to be the last one.
Will the project cost analysis come from the hours allocated or the timesheet from our employees actually taken? So that question is, it's two things. This is the estimate, so it's like what you're planning to get as revenue, and your actuals will be what the timesheets state. So it's, you have eventually estimated, schedule, planned, and then actual. So they have those three levels that you can evaluate in the project. That's it.
Awesome. So what's next? So this is episode 1, right? So what is the next episode? It's less structured than the first time around. First time around, I think we had a series of 24. I tend to get crazy sometimes. So this one, I went a bit more free form.
Realistic.
The one I would like to do, the next one, it's the art of the possible, but a less condensed version that we did the first time around. So going a bit deeper, but covering everything. There's still a lot of people that doesn't know the entire realm of possibilities of what Klient can do. So the art of the possible will be the next one. I'm thinking maybe in 3 weeks from now, something like that. So this will be the next one. After that, depending of the ideas that you guys are submitting and the evolution of the roadmap, I didn't mention, but we have a big security project that's taking a lot of time and resources. As soon as this one is done, we're going to have a lot of available resources to go a lot faster on the product. So moving in Q2, Q3, Salesforce did some changes. Everything is more secure, so we had to involve that, but it took us a lot of time. But moving forward, the rhythm of new functionality is going to increase a lot. So we can do roadmap review and we can do new feature showcase. So this is my thinking of the next sessions. Feel free to email us or write in the community. That would be even better in terms of ideas that you might have for the next showcase. Also was thinking, I think a couple of, we have people all around the world, right? So this time is not that good for people in Europe. It's all lunchtime and we don't want to create commotion at dinner. So we might do a 7 a.m. showing and then noon showing. So Dominic,
Yeah,
know,
that's what I was thinking. Okay, so need to get up earlier.
but this is going to be your dry run. So you can do dry run with Europeans, and then. But
Excellent.
I was thinking of doing two. So if there's some interest there, the recording is going to be shared through the community, so you can always access it. But yeah, real-time question is good, so maybe we can do that.
Thanks, Yannick. That was very nice. Thanks.
Thank you, Dominic. It's always a pleasure, and we'll see
It is.
each other.
It seems that there's been a few good comments, and people are asking for more sessions and giving very good comments on the UI. So I think it's striking. It's a place that, you know, there's a pain. We'll put a bandage to it.
Not a bandit.
Yeah.
Real
We'll repair it. We'll repair the pain. Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks.
And we're doing all this for you guys, so I hope you like it.
Have a great day.
Talk soon.